My name is Jamie, or you could also call me She Likes THC like it says down there, but whatever you want though. Here I would consume cannabis legally and responsibly in the state of Nevada and in the comfort of my own home. However, I am on a tea break right now, so if you know what that means, I won't be smoking in today's video. Today's video is going to be very different than what I'm used to filming here on my channel, but if you've ever considered getting a pet rabbit, have ever thought about it, well then this video is going to be giving you some pointers. Today I just wanted to shed some light on the small platform that I've built over the last couple years of making videos on proper rabbit care, since we are still learning new ways to care for them as pets. The first pet rabbit that I actually had was when I was 3 years old, and it was a family rabbit because it was given to us by neighbors, I believe. So around that time, around the year 2000, my parents just weren't as educated on how to properly care for a rabbit, and that rabbit was put in a hutch in our backyard when we were living in Arizona, of all places. So sadly, that rabbit had a very short-lived life and did not live the whole 15 years lifespan that they could even have, which is very unfortunate, but my parents haven't owned rabbits since then. Me, on the other hand, I adopted a pet rabbit 2 years ago because I've been here on my own in Vegas and just wanted some company and hadn't had a pet before. The only pets that I've had were family pets. I do have my dog back home, and my mom always told me that I should get a pet cat, but my sister's allergic to them, and so if she were to visit, I don't want her to be, you know, all full of allergies her whole time being out here. But I've always thought that rabbits were cute, so I decided 2 years ago to do my own research into getting one, and wow, was it a whole ass learning freaking process, guys. So I just wanted to sit down and do this video today just to show you the ways that, you know, there's common misconceptions about how rabbits should be cared for, when really it's not all that complicated. So in today's video specifically, we're going to be talking about how America's favorite and most well-known pet store, which is known as PetSmart, how they say to care for rabbits versus how you should care for rabbits. So let's go ahead and just jump into this, and then I'll be showing you guys my pet rabbit at the end of this video. However, I have shown him, or not really shown him, but like you've seen him in the background of some of my previous videos before, I'm sure. No, wait, I think that the very first video that I kind of uploaded here on YouTube introducing myself, I did talk about my bunny, so you'll get to see him again today. But first, let's talk about how PetSmart says that you should care for these cute mystical creatures. So when I was preparing to get my pet rabbit, I was just looking at some, you know, how to care for a rabbit videos here on YouTube, and then I made my way to PetSmart so that I could go get hay and go get all the necessities that are needed for rabbits. And the lady that was working there handed me this brochure right here. So all it says is getting to know your rabbit, and there's the PetSmart care guide that they handed to me. So I ended up getting him a cage and just fell for all the different misconceptions when rabbits shouldn't even be in cages. And it's very sad and unfortunate to look back at how the rabbit that I had when I was 3 years old was left in a hutch outside. So looking back at that, I do feel horrible now, but I was only 3 at the time. What did I know? But let's go ahead and get into what this brochure says. So the first page says happy and hoppy rabbits, and does give a little fact that their teeth never stop growing. So it does say the size, depending on the breed, rabbits can weigh between 2 to 10 pounds. The lifespan, rabbits can live for approximately 6 to 13 years, which is crazy to think about. Before you consider getting a rabbit, just remember that commitment. It's gonna be a whole 10-year lifespan, if possible, even more. Under behavior, it says they are diurnal, D-I-U-R-N-A-L, I don't know. They are diurnal and most active during the day. Some can be litter box trained. So pretty much all rabbits can be litter box trained. And diurnal, I honestly find that a bit questionable because from what I've heard, they're crepuscular, which means that they're active both at dawn and dusk. And right away, they're telling you that they're most active during the day. My rabbit is so lazy and sleeps most of the day, so not my rabbit, dude. Temperament, it says rabbits are playful and gentle. They live happily in pairs, especially two females from the same family. And yes, they are very social animals and do very well in pairs. And I've thought of getting a second rabbit for mine before. But here's where it has a picture of a rabbit habitat saying that you should get something that looks like this for your pet rabbit. So since I was handed this brochure 2 years ago, I did get a little cage for him that looked like this. But after coming upon different resources, I just realized that it's best to have these animals free roam. Instead of something that looks like this or a cage, a playpen is actually the best option for them. They'll have a lot more space than they do in something like this, but you should definitely consider free roaming this animal as much as possible if you do plan on getting one. Also here it does say to get them a water bottle, so I would not personally recommend that. Instead, just get a water bowl because sometimes rabbits can have a hard time drinking out of something like this, and they're totally okay drinking out of just a bowl like a cat or a dog would. They also have the hay in something that looks like this. I think that they call it a hay manager or something. But the hay should not be in something like this. They should always have access to hay, and the hay should go inside of the litter box actually. I know it sounds strange, but that's just how rabbits like to do their business, and honestly it's less of a freaking cleanup for you. So then on the second page, this just says how you should set up your habitat, I guess, but I just would not recommend that at all. Like I said, a playpen's the best option, so we'll just skip over that. And then we get into the fun stuff. What should you feed your rabbit? So here it says that you should just feed them once daily hay, pelleted foods, and water. This I wouldn't necessarily say once daily. I would say at all times they should have the hay and the water. Pellets, for the research that I've done, I've heard is best for just baby rabbits or very elderly rabbits. So I haven't really been feeding my rabbit that many pellets because he's 3 years old, so he's right in the middle and doesn't really need the extra nutrients, I guess, that they come with. Then after the hay, the pellets, and the water, it says once every other day vegetables, which I disagree with. It does say that dark leafy greens are 20% of the diet, which is true, but I would feed them more than once every other day. I just feed him veggies once a day, and I feed him like at around 5 p.m., which is like around the same time I have dinner, so we both kind of eat at the same time. Depending on the weight of the rabbit though, they might need to eat more or less greens than how I feed mine. Mine is 4.5 pounds, so that's how I feed him. And I've had him for 2 years now and he's healthy. I took him to the vet just a couple weeks ago. He's totally okay, so I'm not really looking for any advice on how I take care of my rabbit. I've pretty much done all of my own research and know the deal by now. But let's keep moving on. Then it says one time weekly fruit. It says apples, bananas, or melons are 5% of the diet. Feed your rabbit 1 to 2 ounces per 6 pounds of body weight. So I do think that it's good to give your rabbit some treats once in a while just for being a good bunch. So I like to give my pet rabbit fruit at night before I go to bed, and I'll either give him some apples, bananas, melon. They love all that stuff, guys. Oh my god. And they are so food driven, just so you know. And then there's this whole other part too that says 2 times weekly you should give them treats. Well, to me, fruit is treats for them, but it says utilize treats sparingly and feed up to 2 times weekly. Offer rabbits treats like raisins and alfalfa hay. Well, depending on the hay that you get your rabbit, I give mine Timothy. Alfalfa is also a good alternative, but I mean that would be given to them, you know, at all times, so I don't see why it's here on the treats section. So yeah, I would just scratch this whole part off because fruit are treats, according to how I and other rabbit owners feed their rabbits when it comes to giving them a little treat once in a while. And now let's move on to this last bottom part on the second page. It talks about how you can keep your rabbit healthy. So it says rabbits need at least an hour out of their habitat every day. I would say even longer than that. I would honestly say that they need at least 3 hours outside of their playpen or whatever each and every day. hay. It also says walk your rabbit with the harness or let them hop around in the pen, but don't leave him loose unsupervised. Okay, I respect them for saying that, just because rabbits are prey and they should never be left unsupervised. But they're promoting harness use, and honestly not all rabbits are gonna let you handle them and put them in a harness. Nor if you put them on a harness, you can't expect them to walk just like a dog would. But they do need room to hop around and run in, so you need to give them some time outside of either their playpen or whatever it is. 3 hours at the very least, I would say. But honestly, you're just better off free roaming them. That way they have all the access at all times to choose when they want to get their little rabbit exercise. Then it does say contact a small animal veterinarian or speak with a PetSmart associate if you notice the following symptoms. Don't speak with a PetSmart associate about these things. Just go straight to the vet. If you do notice cloudy, sunken, or swollen eyes, overgrown front teeth, bare patches in fur, lethargy, weight loss, not eating or drinking normally, sneezing, discharge from the eyes, nose, or mouth, diarrhea, or discolor droppings. Then at the back of this little brochure, it has a little shopping checklist and just what will I need for my rabbit. So if you're looking for a rabbit, you can just check if you have all these items, but listen to what I have to say first before you go off and buy some of the things that are on this list. So the very first thing that they have here on the checklist is the habitat, like the one that is shown in the picture. It says the habitat size 30 by 29 by 18 or larger. Which, no, don't get that. Just get a playpen, like I said. Bedding you do need to put inside of the litter box with the hay on top of it. A hide house, I'm not really sure. I think that that's just a little like house made out of hay that they can just play around with. They can dig at it, do whatever. So yeah, you should definitely get some toys for your rabbit. A large litter pan, they definitely need that. Litter, but I mean, honestly, I just call bedding litter, so those are pretty much the same thing. An exercise pen, like I've been saying, cross out that whole habitat thing and just get an exercise pen instead. A food dish, I just use a plate when I give him his veggies, but do it how you want, just as long as they get them. A water bottle, which no, they don't need, just get them a bowl and they can drink out of that instead, because these can also cause them to get dehydrated. Fortified rabbit pellets, depending on the kind of rabbit you have, then yeah, go ahead and get them that. Hay managers, not necessary, which is what they said that thing was, and hay is very necessary, but put that in the litter box. Fruits and vegetables, of course, a must. Treats and chews, never get a rabbit those little yogurt droppings like I did when I was shopping for my rabbit. Those things are processed and they're full of sugars, and too much sugar is not good for your rabbits, so give them fruit instead as treats. And then mineral chew, I'm honestly not quite sure what that is, so if any other rabbit owner knows, go ahead and let me know. But yeah, that's about it that PetSmart has to say about caring for a rabbit. As you can see, even their information's very flawed. There's so many misconceptions on how to care for these animals, but if you do your research properly, you can see that it's not all about going out of your way to pay so much money for a cage, for all this stuff. These animals can honestly just live very simply in your apartment or house, but it is best to keep them indoors because hot temperatures do not go well with rabbits. I believe 80 degrees is entering the danger zone when it comes to rabbits. They can overheat very quickly. But other things that you should keep in mind that are not even mentioned on the little pamphlet is that you do need to rabbit-proof your home. These little creatures love to chew, so they will chew at your table. If you have any cords, make sure that you get some protected little glove for your cords because they will chew through those, and you don't want them to shock yourself or even cause a fire, which is possible. These animals do also need to be maintained. You do need to brush them daily, so I always brush him while giving him treats, and they do also need to have their nails trimmed as well. Also, keep in mind that rabbits are prey animals, so they do not like to be picked up, and they also will not respond like dogs do. They're very chill and skittish skittish animals, so they need to be cared for carefully because of this. So they need to be cared for very carefully and cautiously because of this. And for more information, go look at Lennon the Bunny's YouTube channel. I wish that I had discovered this YouTube channel before I went to PetSmart and bought all the improper things for rabbits that I just ended up returning. But they do have very proper information on rabbit care and all that jazz. So definitely go check them out if you are considering getting a pet rabbit for yourself. Let me go ahead and show you guys my little guy. So this is his own corner of the apartment. I decorated it a little bit. And also this is the playpen that I have. He's mostly free roam, so only when I go to school or work will I set this up so that he only has this part of the house for a few hours. But yeah, this is my little Dexter, or I also call him Dexy for short. Mostly Dexy, honestly. You can also see him right now eating his hay from his litter box. And I have this little bed for him. Yeah, we have been best buddies, since January of 2019, so we've been together for about 2 years now. We love each other so much. Oh, there he goes. But yeah, they are so loyal and they are so cute just to have around. I've had nothing but good memories with my little bun. Something that you should also know about rabbits is that they all have their own personalities, and mine is definitely more on the skittish side. I adopted him at the SPCA, so I don't know much about his history and why that might be. But I'm happy that I have him living with me now and he is safe, and I made vow to the SPCA that he's gonna be living his full lifespan and everything. It makes me feel good knowing that at least I saved one rabbit that's, you know, properly cared for and all that. And before anyone asks, no, I have not gotten him high before. I actually find it very inappropriate when people get their pets high when they don't even know what they're getting into. Just wanted to throw that out there because I have had a cannabis consuming channel, but I would never do that to my little bun. Other than that, that's all that I have for this video. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.